What's up, everybody? My name is Gabriel, and welcome to the Epic Universe Inc. Studios. Today, we want to talk to you a little bit more about our first comic book, The Da Shi, The Price of Power, which is going live on Kickstarter August 1st, 2025. Mark it on your calendar. Don't miss it. Come be a part of the community that's going to make this into the next big thing. Now, if you guys want to follow along with anything that I'm talking about, please feel free to go to our website, which is the Style Assassins, it's plural with an S, styleassassins.com, or the Epic Universe Inc. Inc.com. Now, again, the Kickstarter is going live August 1st, 2025. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about the characters that are going to be involved in this comic book. So the two primary characters we're going to be dealing with are actually Suez and Syl. Syl is actually in the reflection of the blades right there, and he's a mage from the Magi community. We'll talk about him a little bit more in another video. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about Suez and his past. Not just his past, but the past of all Nameless. Suez is a nameless warrior. That guy right there. Now you'll notice that I said his name is Suez, and he's a nameless warrior. Well, just to put it into, so we can make sense of this whole thing, the Nameless and the Style Assassins are part of a group that collectively refer to themselves as the community. The Style Assassins are the highest rank you can reach inside the community. And in order to even be considered to become a Style Assassin, you must earn a name within the community. So you can have a chosen name like Suez, but you do not have a name within the community until you have earned it, and then they will give you a name. In order to earn a name within the Nameless, you have to go through a lot of trials and a lot of tribulations. You have to suffer a lot. Now, the overwhelming majority of Nameless, how they begin is they are brought into the community at a very young age. Now, not all of them are brought in young. Two of them that you're going to come to know real soon and know real well are actually already Style Assassins, and that's Just Die and Tech, short for Technologic. Now, both of them were actually brought into the community already as adults. They were viewed out into the world. Somebody had taken notice of them while they were out in the world, recognized that they had a high proclivity towards pulling on the current, which is the energy of the universe itself. And so they were brought into the community. They had to go through the initial trials. They passed the initial trials and were then able to be trained as Nameless, then go through what is called their Shugyosha, and then earn their name and then become Style Assassins. So it's important to note that the community does not raise children. The community forges weapons. Now you have to understand that the community themselves, they see themselves as the first line of defense and offense for humanity itself. They are protecting humanity and fighting against, we'll call the factions that operate within the shadows, shadow factions, which are the Uruk, which is werewolves, the Darks, which is werecats, the Bloods, which is vampires as a whole. The two biggest factions within the Bloods is the Bloodborne and the Bloodlords. Then we have the Magi, we have offshoots like the Collective. There's a lot of different factions that are operating within the shadows of the world, and the community as a whole, so both the Nameless and the Style Assassins see themselves as the front line of both offense and defense to protect humanity, as all members of the community are pure 100% pure humans. They are not born special. They don't use magic. They don't do anything. They become superheroes of their own life, and in order to protect humanity by going through suffering and struggle. That is how they get there. Now, every Nameless, every person within the community, it is important that they have what are called bracers. So you'll see he has his on display right here. These are the bracers. They all have bracers on their forearms, and they all have bracers on their shins. You don't see the ones in the shins as often. We don't draw them as much, but they are there. The purpose of this is, when you are purposely made into a weapon, so as I said, the community forges weapons, they don't raise kids. So when you are forged into a weapon, when you're the weapon, everything else is merely a tool to help you become a better weapon. So since they're already seen as the offensive weapon, the offensive tool, they have their bracers, which help them in their defensive capacity, as in their battles, obviously. So from a very young age, not only are they taught to go through strenuous activities, strenuous training, everything that you can think of, from weapons and martial arts, espionage, learning languages, all that kinds of stuff. They are also taught how to create their bracers. A lot of them also take it a step further, and they learn how to make their masks, whether if they make them out of metal, cloth, or whatever, it's up to them. They all use masks for the most part, but the type of mask that they use is just up to their own, what they have a proclivity towards. So every Nameless must go through a rigorous form of training from the beginning. But it's also important to note that all Nameless, since most of them are brought in so young, their past lives are purposely obscured. So no records are kept of what their original name might have been, where they were brought from, so whatever their ethnicity they were. They learn so many languages from such a young age that most of them come to a point where it's hard for them to remember which language was their primary language, and their birthdays are never kept track of. And if you're inside the stronghold, which is where the community lives and trains, there's no time in there. Every day is the same day. So since you don't have a concept of days, you don't have a concept of time, most of them end up forgetting whatever their birthday may have once been. If you go 10, 15, possibly even 20 years without a concept of time, it'd be very difficult for you to remember who you were, where you came from, or what your birthday may be. Now, this may seem extreme, but like I said, you have to remember that the community sees themselves as a necessary component to protect and defend humanity by any means necessary from all of the shadow factions. At a certain point, once you show a certain level of proficiency in everything that they're training you to do, they will then start being sent out on missions that will further the cause of the community as a whole. So in the beginning, it may be super simple stuff, recon, then possibly a few spy missions, then obviously, maybe to go hunt somebody down and stuff like that. But at some point, they're gonna need you to perform some assassinations. Once you perform those assassinations and show that you can do those in cold blood and continue to move forward as a good little warrior would, that's when you'll be encouraged to go out on your Shugyosha. So what is the Shugyosha? The Shugyosha is a necessary component for any style or any Nameless that wants to earn a name within the community. And that's when they leave the safety and the comfort of everything that they've known for so long, which is the community itself and their living environment, training environment, which is the stronghold, and they go out into the world. And they usually just go out into the world with the clothes on their back and whatever's in their pockets, maybe a little backpack, and obviously their bracers, which they have to have. Now, when they're sent out on their Shugyosha, the whole point of this is to use their best judgment to live and survive and to gain experience in what the world has to offer. Now, when they're out there, they have to use their best judgment on who they make into rivals, who they make into enemies and opposition, and who they ally themselves with. Now, the only exception to this is the children. The children are the natural sworn enemies to anybody in the community. The community hates all the children. All the children hate the community. To give you a brief idea of who the children are, they are energy vampires. If you want to learn more about who they are, styleassassins.com, the Epic Universe Inc. Inc.com. Go in there, check them out. We love those characters just as much. However, they are the natural born enemies of everybody in the community. However, so that is usually an on-site battle. As soon as they recognize each other, see each other, if they recognize each other, know who each other are, one of them's going to try to get at the other for sure. But everybody else, it is up to each Nameless, it's up to their best judgment if they want to war with someone, if they want to create a pact with somebody. That is all on them. Now, just because they're out on their Shugyosha, that does not mean that they're cut off from the community as a whole. Number one, if the community needs a task done and they need them to do it, they will reach out, give them the task, and unless there is a really good reason, they will perform that task forthwith. Also, another thing, most of the Nameless that are out in the world, they're well known for what they're capable of making happen, which is espionage, assassinations, tracking people down, finding objects, all stuff of that nature. They're wandering warriors. They don't need money. So much of the money, they charge high prices for the things that they do. Most of the money that they make, they send back to the community and help support the community. They don't need the money. Every 3 years, there's a tournament inside the strongholds. Now, most Nameless will return from their Shugyosha for most of the tournaments that are held every 3 years, just to participate, just to be part of the camaraderie and everything else. Many of them may also return, most of them will also return to the Shugyosha directly afterwards. A quick note about the Shugyosha is it's not mandatory. Many people don't go on their Shugyosha, and some go out on their Shugyosha and decide it's not for them and come back. All that means is that you cannot earn a name within the community, and you will never be given any rank or any ability to speak in a real capacity within the community itself. You could still become an unnamed elder, at which point you will have some rank, but as a normal everyday citizen, you are just a citizen. You do not have any say unless you earn a name, until you become one of the named. But inside this tournament is just it's just a huge display of, skills, and just martial prowess is the best way to put it. Now, a lot of people are brought back as guests as well. So Uruk have been brought back as guests, Darks have been brought back as guests, parts of the collective have been brought back as guests, vampires, the Bloods, some of them have been brought back, Magi have been brought back so that they can compete and be part of the fun. There are extremely powerful members that participate in the tournament. When a nameless warrior decides that they're ready to go back to earn their name, they go back and they go into the tournament with the intent to earn their name. The tournament is much harder for those individuals. It's no longer about fun, it's about showing what you can do. And you do not need to win the tournament, you just need to demonstrate the ability to impress everyone there. You don't have to win. There's some extremely strong people. You just have to do well and impress everybody. If you're deemed worthy enough, you will then be sent on to the last trials in order to earn your name. At which point you will become one of the named. You have you have a rank, you have a voice within the community itself, and it's the only way that you can even be considered to become a style assassin. And it is still not a guarantee. That's a basic rundown of every nameless that goes from the community, that lives in the community, from childhood, being forged into weapons, from youth, having all parts of their identity stripped from them. The fact that the community sees this as necessary because they're the first line of defense and offense to protect humanity as a whole from all the factions that operate within the shadows. How important the bracers are. If you are a nameless and you're found without your bracers, you would be considered in a serious, they would look upon you in disgust. You would be in disgrace if you are found without your bracers. So if a nameless's bracers are either lost, damaged beyond repair, anything like that, it would be their number one priority at that moment would be to gain everything, all the materials that they need to get in order to create new bracers. Now, there are various different kinds of bracers, which we'll talk about another time. The overwhelming majority of nameless just use carbon steel bracers. So they're either forging them or from molten steel, or they're using many times they'll use a mold. It just depends on, time constraints and stuff like that. But they will have to have their bracers. If they lose them or if they're too far damaged, too far gone, they will have to create new ones. So I just wanted to give you guys an understanding of who the nameless are, how they operate, the fact that they're part of a larger community, a larger group called the community, which also encompasses the style assassins, and that they have hierarchy. They have hierarchy within themselves that's super simple. You're either named, or you're either nameless, you're named, or you're a style assassin. They also have elders, in which case, that's a quasi. It's a rank, but you can still be nameless and have the rank of elder. Just a basic brief history of the nameless. Sorry for that. If you guys have any questions, please, for the love of God, go to our website. That's the Style Assassins, it's plural with an S.com, or the Epic Universe Inc., that's INC.com. Look around, man. Whatever platform you guys are watching this on, man, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. But not only that, man, leave a comment. Get to us. Either leave a comment on the platform that you're watching this on, or go to our website and go to our contact us page and leave me a note there. It'll come directly to me. I will get right back to you. Not only that, guys, we have a lot more coming. We have, there is a free ebook that comes along with this right now. You can go to our website right now and get a free ebook that stars the main two characters. Well, mostly Syl, it's mostly from Syl's perspective, the Magi, but it's a direct prequel on how we lead up to where this comic book starts. It's a free ebook. Go check it out. Go download it. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think. we're looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. Sorry for tripping up here at the end. This is all still very new to me. We'll see you guys soon. That's that. Follow for more stories from the Epic Universe Inc. or visit styleassassins.com to learn more.